Why are we here? How can we be happy? These are questions I've been curious about since a very young age. I'm your host, Anna Goldstein, and this is the Profit with Purpose show. I believe we have the answers within us, but somewhere along the way, we stop trusting ourselves. I'm interviewing top entrepreneurs, healers, and change makers about mindfulness strategies and practical tools to help you carve your path. Join me as you reconnect with your heart and live courageously so that we make the world a better place. Welcome back. I have a life update. Finally, we have moved into our new home and we are settled. We have moved. This is our third move in 2 years. And since then, it has been challenging for me to be consistent with podcasting. So I'm hoping now that we are finally settled and landed and feel more rooted here that I start to engage more with podcasting. I'm about to set up an interview coming up real soon, so stay tuned for that. So I wanted to just share that life update, and it's great. We're very happy to be settled. And, I do a lot of work, obviously, on your inner world, and I've been really paying attention to how much environment impacts us. And, if you're not feeling like the environment that you're in right now is conducive for you to consider what are the elements and qualities and characteristics that would work for you. I found this old journal that I had written in, I don't know how many years ago. Let's just say, I think it was before Evan was born. So let's say over 7 years ago, where it said, I live in a 3-bedroom house with an open kitchen that's decorated in restoration hardware furniture. And I live by the beach. And now here I am. It took a little longer than I expected, but I do find it interesting. When I was moving, I came across this piece of paper that I had written this vision on and had forgotten about it. But here I am actually living that. But I've always had this vision of living by the beach, and finally I'm living 3 miles from the beach. So if you're not happy in your current situation, that's okay. I've been there before. And to create a vision of what would work for you, what elements would work for you in terms of your living environment. The other life update that I have is after we had slept in our house for one night, I got a call from my mom that my grandmother had fell, and she is 92 years old, and turned out that she had a massive stroke. And I found out later that day that she wasn't going to make it. So I quickly flew in to Maryland, where my family is, and I had the good fortune to be able to say goodbye to her. I'm not sure if she heard me, if she was conscious. I'm going to think that she was. It seemed like she had a little bit there. I don't know if it was a tear that shed or if her eyes were just watering, but I got to tell her how much I loved her and how much she has inspired me. And I'm feeling a little emotional right now, but it was my first time that I have been able to say goodbye to someone. And it definitely affected me. And, I want to talk a little bit about, the impact that it's had on me and the way that I've been thinking. So I have studied Buddhist psychology for the past 10 years or so, maybe even more. But in Buddhism, they talk about death, and in a lot of parts of our culture, we don't. And the reason why in Buddhism they speak about death is because they believe that your consciousness continues. So the point of death is very important in Buddhism, because that's what they believe that carries on, that energy, that consciousness continues on, and to be in a very loving state. Now, I feel like my grandma was in a loving state. There was so much love in the room from my family, and it was pretty beautiful in a lot of ways. And she was an extraordinary woman who lived a long life. She lived well. She never really got sick. She even lived through COVID and didn't get COVID. And she was a strong woman, and she lived life really well. She had a lot of fun. And my memories from my childhood are a lot about my grandparents, and they were very loving towards each other. My grandfather is still living. She actually passed away on his 94th birthday. They were married for 73 years. They had a loving relationship and they had a lot of fun. And so I always looked up to them, and they created fun experiences in my life for myself and my cousins. We would vacation with them in Puerto Rico for, maybe it was like 20 years we did that. My grandmother was a vibrant woman, and she had a lot of life and energy and love in her. And it was almost like she sparkled. In some regards, I wasn't super close to her in the sense where we didn't have like this relationship where we talked on the phone a lot. But she was very present in my life throughout my entire life. And I knew how much she loved me. And, what really stands out is to have fun in life. And that was, a reason that has had me make some life changes, is that I realized that, I turned 40 during COVID. I'm almost 42. And I've just been thinking a lot about fun and enjoyment. And some of our purpose is to enjoy and to have fun. And when we're in that state of mind, how it impacts others. So I've been thinking a lot about that and thinking about how I can have more fun and live and enjoy more. And I think that's really, it's really humbling when you have an experience where you see someone pass away. And what that means, it makes you really think about your life. So this isn't to be, I think it's okay to be sad. So I do have some sadness there, but it's also a lot of inspiration and realizing the hard truth about life is that's where we all end up. And so it really makes you think. And in Buddhism, it's a lot about, they meditate on death so that you can really cherish and see your life as this precious life that we have. And so it's like, what do you want to do with it? So it's like, how can you enjoy your life more? And so I'll leave you with that. And I hope to tune in more frequently now that we're settled in. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at info@annagoldstein.com. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends and family and write a review. It keeps this podcast going. Questions? Email me at info@annagoldstein.com. Remember to carve your path and be kind to someone today.